Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday night Zoom call. I am thrilled. It's the 20th of December, and we are enjoying a great holiday season. Everybody is getting ready for the holidays, but on people's minds is what they're going to do in the new year. So I wanted to invite my mentor, Ron Goelz, on, and he's just got the easiest way to look at our business, how to make it thrive in the ups and downs, seasons, and how can we keep moving forward and serve people in a way that they need to be present for them. And Ron does it. No one does it like Ron. So Ron, I'm going to unmute you and
Great.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Susan, for letting me share a few moments with you. And this is a great time of year. And yes, we're all looking forward to the first, but I believe between now and the first is a great opportunity because all these people are having gatherings just for you, whether they be parties at the company or with the family or whatever. So they're bringing all these people that maybe you'd not have met before, and they're letting you meet with them, talk with them, find out, where they live, what they do, and things like that. And I love this time of year. I mean, I love to meet people anyhow, wherever they are. But I think this is when you get an opportunity to meet a lot of people that you haven't seen in a while. I think it's a wonderful time. I know you all watched last night's core training, which was absolutely fantastic about empathetic coaching. And I guess the biggest thing that I like to do when I'm talking to people is find out, as you build that relationship, you don't build it overnight. But I like to find out where people are and listen to them versus hearing them. And I really enjoy that. And that's the fun of my business, is just finding out where people are, where they're from, what they do, and just as a casual conversation. And I have no outcome at all. I'm not looking for any outcome at all other than to find out where they are. And down the road might find something that we can have in common. And so I always spend a lot of time on the why. And whether it be my clients, my potential clients, or my potential coaches, if I do a client profile, for example, I'll ask them if they want to create health and explain the program very briefly, and then I'll spend at least half to 2/3 of the time finding out their why. Why do they want to create health? For example, in a potential coach, a client. Why? But I want to get into the emotion of it, because once I get into the emotion, then I can carry it forward and get them what they want. But I always ask in depth. In other words, yes, you want to get help. Why do you want to get help? What would be the first thing you were looking for? Whatever that is, and I go down and down. So I'm having them make a movie and picturing themselves after. In other words, they know where they are now, but where would you like to see yourself when you lose the 30 pounds? Can you picture yourself doing that? What would be the first purchase you would make? What would be the first thing? And when they say the purchase, I think, okay, great. What color? Is it going to be long sleeve, short? In other words, I want to really, so they can picture this piece of apparel and really picture it. And then I'll even say, well, that sounds so great. In fact, why don't you find a picture of that and put it on the refrigerator or put it on your mirror? But I really want to get into the why they want to do it. The how is easy, right? We all know the how is very simple. And when we build that relationship, it takes a little bit of time to do that. And the trust, as people build trust in what you're doing, and that you see they can trust you, that you're there to help them. Because Chris always says, if you take your eyes off yourself and put it on other people, it's an amazing thing what happens to them. They just start warming up more and more. And people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And in my case, that's wonderful, because I'm not the brightest bulb in the lamp, but I can get the information if they want it. But I do care about them, and I'm passionate about doing that. So I think that's a great thing. And the training last night was fantastic on the empathetic part of doing that. The other thing that I like to do, especially with my clients, I want them to set their goals, where they want to be. I give them, a 1 month, a 3 month, just see where they picture themselves being. And a lot of people are afraid to set a goal. And I say, listen, we can do this real easy. Make sure we set our goals in concrete, but our plans are in sand. In other words, I'd like to lose 25 pounds by March 1st. Great, fantastic. We can do that. I know we can. But if they, for some reason, something happens in their life and we only have 20, but it's still, we're 20 ahead. So then we say, okay, well, let's do it. Another 15 to 20 days, we can do that. But the goal is always the 20 pounds or whatever that might be, right? So my goals are in concrete, but my plans are in sand because you're always going to have changes happening. Life happens. So I try and lay that out so they feel comfortable with it. And that's the most important thing, that they feel comfortable with themselves. We're not going to beat them up. We're going to be there to guide them. Some people might want to need a little of strictness. But I ask that question. And I'm not that type. I don't push people, you know. Another thing that I'll suggest is coming off my mind. I try never, ever, ever, ever to tell somebody what to do. I'll always ask Mary or Susan, can I make a suggestion or a recommendation? And the reason I do that is if they say no, okay, that's the answer. But if they say yes, they're more likely to listen to what I say. But I ask permission for that. Versus when you think about it, your boss tells you what to do, your parents tell you what to do, your even kids tell us what to do. So people get sick and tired of having somebody tell them what to do. Where if you recommend or suggest, again, we're together and working together on that. So I do that with everybody that I can. Because it's just, again, people know I have fun, you know, and that's the most important thing. In fact, I was talking to a gal today out in Colorado. Remind me, Susan, we want to talk about three-way calls and the value. I really want. But we were talking out with this gal, and she's been on the program a couple of weeks. She's excited as anything. And so I said, how you doing? How you feeling? And then I said, are you having fun? And she says, you know, it's interesting. I've dieted most of my life, and they really were painful. And this is fun because I know my coach is making sure I'm having fun, but they're guiding me through it, and I can see the results. So if somebody would ask me, what do? I said, well, all I do is I guide people. I eat the food. I talk to people. I have fun, and then I can make money as a coach. But it's always the fun part because, again, most people aren't having fun in life. So I always stress that. Let's go to the coaches the same way. If there's a potential coach, I spend the same amount of time as I do with the client profile sheet for a client, finding out why would you like to become a coach? What excites you about becoming a coach? And really listen to what they say and don't interrupt them until they finish everything. And then I'll say, well, no, I hear what you say. You know, it's interesting. I felt the same way. There was such a dramatic change in my life. I just felt I had to pay it forward. And that was, and again, I was having fun with it. I enjoyed doing it. I love helping people. But I want to find out, again, 3 reasons why they want to become a coach. So then I can focus, just like I do with my clients, as we go down the road. And when they decide to become a coach, and we start growing and helping them get those first 5 clients, and we're going to do that with them and for them. And then we start doing the map. And I love the map. We used to do structural tension. I don't know if everybody knows what, you know, structural tension, but the map is a little bit different because it lays out more specifics. But one of the things I do in the current reality in the bottom, especially if I'm working with a coach, and I'm jumping here because coaches are what we're going to really grow our business with. Would that be a statement? In other words, we know that we need clients. Your hair looks great, Debbie. I love it. Keep doing it. It looks nice and soft. Go ahead. Seriously.
Ron,
it looks great. Yeah.
Ron, I want to just say something. I attached a structural tension. For those of you who maybe are a little bit newer and don't know our structural tension charts, I attached it to the email I sent out today.
Okay,
So check
great.
that attachment and then talk to your mentor coach about it. But what Ron's talking about. Okay.
And especially if you want to grow your business. And on the bottom of that sheet, it talks about our current reality. In other words, where are we? Where did we end up the month? Number one, how many clients did we have? How many coaches did we have? What was our frontline volume? What was our group volume? But the one that isn't on there, which I think is an important thing if you're in business, how much money did you make last month? Okay? So now I'll say, well, now, that's fantastic. Now, where do you see yourself next month? Or where would you like to go with this business? Well, Ron, I made about $540. I'd like to make another $400 on top of that. So I said, that's fantastic. So up in the top, you're going to put $900. But I'm going to ask Debbie or Susan or John, if we want to make $400 more, what do you think? Which way are we going to do it? Are we going to bring on other coaches, or are we going to bring on other clients? But I want them to think. And I said, well, how many clients do you think you have to bring on to make an additional 400? Because they know to make 540, how many clients they have. So I'm asking them how many clients more they would need. So now on that map, they have a list of 10 potential clients, they say, okay? Those are the ones that we're going to find out, are they going to come on board with us? And I do that every month. But on a weekly basis, as they're calling in on their weekly basis, we're finding out, okay, how many people did you talk to this week? How many came on board? Because you said you had 8. How many have we talked to so far? So I do that every month. And if somebody says, Ron, I'm happy with the $500, I said, fantastic, man, that's great. I'm happy for you. But if you ever want to move forward, I'm here to help you. We're still going to touch base all the time. But if you're happy, I'm happy. And that's what I want to meet them where they are. Just like our clients, we meet them where they are and where they want to go. Okay? So that's how I lay out with my clients, the exact same way. The other thing, and it's been, I get so excited about doing 3-way calls and or Zooms. If I can do a Zoom with 3 of us, I love that, because I love seeing people's reactions. I can see them better. Phone call is great, but I still think a Zoom is better. But today I did 2 of them, and it was fun. One was a client that's contemplating become a coach. So we talked a little bit, and I asked the exact same questions that the coach did, but I got different answers. So after we did a review at the end, and she said, Ron, I asked her the same exact questions, but she didn't give me the answer you got. And I said, well, that's the way it is. And that's because they don't really know me. They know you real well, and they might give you a different answer. I might ask a different, just put another word or a comma into a question, and they just give a completely different answer. And when the person decides not to do it, it's my fault, not yours. Remember, you were just the messenger, right? You got the information to them that we were going to do the 3-way call. So the value of that is I can really edify you as the coach. I can edify them to your client or a potential coach, and just show them that there's a support community there, that it isn't just you, the coach. You've got a mentor, you got a whole team, and people need to belong today. They want to belong, right? And would you say that a lot of people don't have a lot of fun in their lives today? Right? So now with this time of year, people are what? Number one, they're stressed, right? Because they look at their credit cards and what's happened. Whoops, spent more, right? So it isn't only looking for people that want to get healthy, but maybe they're looking to make an additional couple $100 to pay down their credit card. Or it's coming on, they might need snow tires, where you people up north, you don't need snow tires here. But just little things like that. And most people in this country, in fact, if you think of the town you're living in or wherever you are, imagine if every person in that town had an extra $500 in their pocket each month. You think it would help the economy? You think it would help their attitude? So when we talk about healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances, if they can get rid of less stress by paying their bills easier and not throwing them up and hitting the table, and which one lands on the table I pay and the one on the floor goes next month. So we have the whole package that we can put together for them. And again, at this time of year, it's the greatest time of the year. In fact, I've been asking people already. I started last week. One of my friends asked me about my New Year's, if I had any New Year's resolutions. Usually I used to think of those on the 31st of the first of the year. But I really sat down and I started thinking, what am I going to do for the next year? And so I would think. So now I'm asking my people that I talk to, I said, have you made any New Year's resolutions yet? And they think a second. You say, well, I could lose 10 or 20 pounds. Okay, great. Fantastic. Or whatever it is. But again, it's a time of year where all these people are coming together just for you. I mean, when you think about that, it's pretty powerful. So it's just finding out where people are, have fun with it. What do they do? Maybe they hate what they do. Maybe they love what they do. If they love what they do, then they could love doing this also, because it's an attitude thing. Maybe they don't like what they're doing. But the three-way calls and the Zooms are absolutely, I think if there's a changer, that would be it. Because we're bringing on more coaches with the three-way call where they would say, well, I mentioned it to them, but there was no interest. I said, great, let's get them on the phone in. Let's talk about their success on the program. I'll bring it up. Because I don't know that you brought it up before. So they're more likely to, well, gee, no, I didn't think. Oh, listen. So this gal out in Ohio, in Colorado, we talked to them. I said, you have a great attitude. Seems like you're enjoying the program. It's only been a couple of weeks, but people are already talking about you. They can see a difference. I said, well, Sandy, why don't we do this? I don't know if Carol mentioned it to you, but we're growing our business. We're looking for people. You sound like the type of people we're looking for. You're excited about the program. You sound like you've got a great attitude. You like helping people because you're a school teacher, and teachers are great, especially with this, because they care about people. They don't always get it rewarded for what they do. We're here. The more people we help, the more more income we can generate. So I mentioned to her, I said, well, listen, I don't know where you are, but I just thought I've got a 13-minute video that Carol can send to you. And it just explains briefly an overview of what our business is about. And if you'd like that, I'm sure that you'd gladly send it. She said, well, yeah, I'd like to see it. I have no commitment on it, but I'd like to see it. Great. We don't want any commitment. We just want to give you a little broader view of what we do and to hear it from somebody else in a 13-minute video. Does that sound like something, I reinforced, does that sound like something you'd like to get? And I asked her twice over the course of 2 minutes. She said, yes, I would. I said, great. We'll get that out to you today. So I called Chris and I said, Chris, could you please send it to Carol so Carol can send it to Sandy? And that's the way we introduce it to it. And then next week on our celebration day, Karen will do a follow-up, say, did you get the video? Did you look at it? Wasn't that great? What did you like best about it? Always put it that way. What did you like best about it? Not what did you think about it? What did you like best about it? Can you see yourself there? We also know that when people become coaches, now they're accountable not only to themselves, but they're accountable to others. So you're more apt to stay in the program. We know that 95% of our coaches were clients first, but we know they have a much greater, they increase their success by about 500% when they become a coach because of the accountability factor. And that's fun also. So that's basically how I talk to my clients, talk to my potential clients, have fun doing it, goof up a little bit, make mistakes, because then you're human, okay? I just did a text to a poor guy, a doctor in North Carolina, and I sent 3 texts and I spelled his first name wrong 3 times. I mean, 3 times. And every time I sent it, and I realized I made a mistake, so I had to do it again. So the last one I said, Basil, I know your name and I know how to spell it, but I'm not the brightest guy. And he wrote back, he texted me back, he says, man, you make me feel good. Now that you never want to mess up with a person's first name, but I did. Sorry, but I told him I did, So he knows that, okay, it's cool. And that's what you want to be human, okay? And you want to keep it super simple. We always talk about that. And I don't want to go, I love to stop, let you ask me any questions if you have any, because I don't want anybody to leave here with something they might have, a comment they want to make or something they want to know that I might be able to, help them with. So Susan, why don't we open it? Does that make sense? Does anybody?
Yeah. Gosh, you said so much. And, so think of questions, anybody. What I took away was, when you're talking to somebody, connecting them to their future self. You know, asking that next question, like what color is the dress? Have them stay in that future a little bit longer maybe than I would. You know, I like also what you said, keep the goal, maybe change the timeline.
Right.
Don't give up the goal. Just, you know, if the timeline, if it takes longer, it's okay. It's just the goal's where you want to go. I love that. And then I think I was like 5 or 6 years into coaching before I learned to ask permission to tell someone something. You know, like, and I would hear the leaders would say that and they go, can I share with you something? And I'm like, I never did that. I'd say, you know, oh, they're going to Las Vegas. And I tell them what they could do. And I didn't know if they wanted to know what to do, you know? And so it's really, I don't know that we ever get, there's always something, what I love about coaching is there's always something that we can get better at. There's always another question. There's always another way we can engage or ask or awaken.
I think you're absolutely right. And you know what they say, leaders are readers. And I try and read, I don't do it all the time, but I try and read at least 15 minutes a day on a self-improvement book. In fact, I read my books that I've had for 20, 25 years and do them again. Because again, it's the repetition of, oh, gee, was that said one word, one comment, one sentence. That's why I never miss a leadership call, ever. Because it can be just one phrase that changes everything. And it can change your whole business around. Because our business, it's like you all are too young. But when I was a kid and we had radios, you had a dial that you had to do, and it could be scratchy, and you just tweak it a little bit and it would come in crystal clear. Well, our business is that. It isn't any big change. It's just a little tweak here, a word here, a comment here. And always, when you speak, you have a smile on your voice. And if you don't have a smile on the voice, get a mirror next to your computer or next to your phone before you speak to somebody. Make sure you're smiling, because a smile comes through in your voice. And so does anybody have any questions?
Unmute yourself if you have a question.
Listen, it's been great. We've got 5 minutes left. We can always end early. I always believe that. Oh, there's Julie Apple. I saw her.
I have a quick question. That was awesome. Thank you, Ron.
Yes, dear.
This past weekend, I talked to a lady, and I could tell she was very, very shy on the phone. Mm-hmm. What do you do when somebody doesn't really want to talk so much? How do you pull out them? How do you pull that out of them?
Well, I guess I just ask questions. You know, are you shy? I'll ask the question. You know, is there something we can talk about that you would like? Because a lot of people don't want, you know, if they like something or they enjoy it, then they'll talk about it. Like, I would ask, are you married? Do you have children? How old are they? What do they do? Where does your husband, are you married? Where does your husband work? In other words, I find out as much about them and let them talk about themselves, not about, I want to talk. I want to find whether it's in person or on the phone. So I'll just ask all kinds of questions. Like when you go to your classes, right? When you start, you want to find out where they are and where they want to go. And some of them might say they're afraid to talk to you because they've never been exposed that way, right? So you bring it out from them. So I always try and find out, let them start speaking about things that they know and enjoy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Definitely. Like find common ground with them.
There you go. Or find what their ground is. And then put yourself into their ground. Because when they see that you're listening to them and okay, great. You have how old are the grandchildren? How old are your children? How old are your grandchildren? Where do they live? What do they do? They like sports. My little grandkids, I'd love to play in the sandbox with them. Right now, I can't even bend, my knees are so bad. So that's how you can lead into, but finding out about them until they say, it's the same if I meet a stranger. And I'll ask them, where are they from? What do they do? And then maybe they'll say, well, what do you do? And then I answer according to what I found out about them. He lives in Omaha, Nebraska. He hates his job. And I said, well, it's interesting. I help people get rid of stress in my business because, you said you had stress. maybe when you get back to Omaha and you have some time, let's touch base and talk a little bit about it. Does that make sense, Bill? Or whatever they're talking about. Like if they ask me what I do, then I can fill in what they're looking for. I'd love to move to Florida. Okay, great. How would you? What's stopping you from moving to Florida? Money. Well, is that the only thing that's stopping you? And then they might hesitate. So what if you could find a solution to that? Would that be something worth discussing down the road a little bit? Would that be something worth discussing? Okay, great. No? Okay, that's good too. Again, I'm not looking for an outcome, one way or the other. Does that help?
That's great.
Good. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Absolutely. I see you on Facebook all the time. I don't answer you. I just say like. I don't know.
Wow, Facebook. Cindy, you had a question. You're muted now. Hold on.
Oh.
Okay, so when a potential client has some obstacles and they're not ready to join us, and that's on the phone, I know how to talk to those obstacles that are in their way.
Mm-hmm.
However, just recently I just got an email saying, I don't want to take any more of your time. Besides the cost factor, there are several other factors of why we're not ready to do the program.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my question. I don't know what's in their way. Do I just go say, when you're ready, to explore some options, I'm here for you? Or how do you handle that when you just get an email saying no?
If I get an email saying just blank no, but you said there were some obstacles.
Yeah, they said besides the cost, there are several other reasons why the program isn't right for us now.
So I would not email back, okay? I would call. I said, Mary, I really appreciate your email. I understand you have some obstacles. You just mentioned the financial one. Are there any other ones that are stopping you?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I found out she really wants to get healthy, if we got to that point where she said she was motivated to get healthy, money's not an issue. That's not an issue. It's not about money, okay? Just like our program isn't about food.
Mm-hmm.
So I would ask the question again. In fact, even on last night's phone call, they said emails are great, but you don't hear. You want the voice because you can hear. And again, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So if you're asking, well, are there any other things, any other obstacles that I might be able to help you with?
Mm-hmm.
Again, how many people would offer that to them? Most people don't really care, right? But if you ask that, just say, listen, you mentioned food, I can understand that. In fact, the great time of the year, Cindy, this is a great time of the year, Cindy, because it is the holiday of giving. Have you thought of asking your friends and relatives to give you the gift of health? Instead of a scarf or a sweater or a pot or whatever, how about the gift of health? Well, if they say, well, what do you mean? Well, listen, I want to start a journey to create health in my life because I've been trying this for a while. I found a program, but I'd like to start it, but it's going to cost me about $300. So, anything that you can help me with that, again, you're just asking. They might say no, but again, the principle is ask and you shall receive. The answer no? Okay, no. But yet more people say, well, gee whiz, I would love to be able to do that. Whether it be $10, $20, but whatever it is, but you're asking for help. It's the same if I'm lost, I go right to the next gas station and say, how do I get here? I have no problem with asking questions. It's the same here. So that's what we offer. We do it all the time, all year round, but especially at the holiday season. And we get a lot of clients. I would also suggest, and I don't know if you all do it, we use the eHealthy newsletter all the time. In other words, if I were talking to this gal and she was there, I'd say, well, listen, I know you're not ready yet, but would you like me to, I can give you what we call an eHealthy newsletter. It comes out once a month. It doesn't cost you a penny, but there's all kinds of things about creating health in your life. Would you like me to enroll you in that? And you can opt out anytime you want. Now, we get anywhere from 2 to 4 clients every month. Now, this month, we've already gotten 7. Now, these people were on the program 7, 8, 9 years ago. and they know they had great success, but over the years, they gained 20 pounds, maybe 30 pounds. So the beauty of that, the E Healthy News, I know I'm going beyond. The E Healthy newsletter is it tells you who went on. It also tells you what section they went on to. So you can click right back to them and say, listen, Joe, if I find any more information about this area you're interested in, would you like me to send it to you? It's a touching point, but you already know what they're looking for. But again, you're just touching with them. And you might want to even call and say, listen, I saw that you're interested in that. If I find any more information, would you like me to email it to you or put it in the mail to you? Would that help you? I think it's a great tool. I think it's one of the best tools we have. And you get 3 reports a month. It comes out the first Tuesday of each month, and then you get a warm report, you get another one, you get another one.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone, when you're a new coach, you get 3 months of it. It's $5.
For free. Yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Gotten away from that. We're using got away, a lot of people got away from that.
Yeah.
The warm report is brilliant.
It really is. You're hard to hear, but it is. It's a great tool, and we don't do it. The company does it for us, and they're going to put good stuff in there. So, again, that's just we're going beyond. If we say a half hour, I don't.
We're gonna thank you, Ron, so much. Thumbs up, everyone, and everyone like that. I mean, it's so great. And please, if you didn't get to see Empathetic Coaching last night, the core training, don't miss it. Ron's my mentor. I do everything he says. He told me to be on the leadership call live, because if you don't, a lot of times you don't ever get back to listening.
And the other thing is, if you're a coach and you didn't go on the leadership call, and then that new coach or one of your coaches calls and say, hey, Ron, wasn't that a great leadership call? If you're on it, then they can discuss it with you. So again, that's just a suggestion, recommendation.
It's one that I've listened to, and it's a great thing. So thank you for being on, Ron, and have a great holiday. And we'll see you guys probably next week. I'll put up.
Okay, great, guys. Well, thank you very much for letting me spend a few minutes with you, and have a great holiday, everybody, and have a good evening, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.